Hello, I'm planning to walk the Camino de Santiago, and one of the most complained about things by people doing the route is the amount of human excrement and waste and the smell and all the other resulting problems. It's a bigger problem than you might think, because when somebody starts to do the walk, overnight they have to double the amount of food that they're eating and drink a lot more, and at the same time suddenly they're away from the toilet. If someone's going to walk the route for 5 or 6 weeks, it's inevitable that they or someone they're travelling with is going to have to go to the toilet outside. So I've been looking about how you can do that and the issues related to it. There's lots of different words that people use for it, but in this video I'm going to use the words wee and poo for the different ways of going to the toilet. So number one, having a wee out of doors. In some ways this is a good thing to do because it doesn't cause other people many problems, and also if you can have a wee at least once every couple of hours, it shows you're drinking enough water and you can make sure your urine is a healthy yellow colour. Admittedly it is easier for men than for women, but I have here a little gadget that's called a she-wee, and it allows women to have a wee while standing up, as I shall now demonstrate. The good thing about it is it's covered in a special chemical, so when you finish with it you just give it a quick shake and all the drops fall off and you can put it back in your bag. Also, it gives the instructions on how to use a she-wee, give away secrets that men have had to themselves for thousands of years. So for example it says, number one, find a tree to go behind, and number two, stand with the wind on your back, but which seems for women a great revelation, but there you are. So that's number one, having a wee. So number two, having a poo out of doors. Obviously this is much more awkward and potentially much more offensive to other people if you don't tidy up your waste properly afterwards. It helps though to understand how the digestive system works. It takes on average 2 days and 5 hours for food to pass completely through the system, and so hopefully if someone's been doing the Camino for say 4 or 5 days, they've been eating the same sorts of things each day at the same time of day, so hopefully they'll be into a routine and they'll know when they need to go to the toilet. Also, the intestines move the food through the body using a series of contractions called peristalsis, but the large intestine has an extra thing it does, and that's called mass movements, and they happen between 1 and 3 times a day, and when they kick in, if you try and resist the urge to go, you're going to be fighting a losing battle. But the good news is the mass movements are normally triggered by eating and having food in the stomach. So if you wake up, as soon as you wake up first thing in the morning, if you have something to eat and fill your stomach up, hopefully within an hour you'll have had a mass movement and you'll use the toilet and you'll be set up for the rest of the day. So here's my plan for number two's out of doors. Number one, try and avoid it if you possibly can by eating straight away first thing in the morning so you can use the toilet. By every time you go past a cafe or a public toilet, try and use it just in case, even if you're not desperate to go. Number three, if you're going to public buildings such as places where pilgrims might need to get their passport stamped, for example at the town hall or churches and places like that, you might be able to use the toilet there if you ask. But if all that fails and you have to go to the toilet out of doors, there are two ways you can dispose of the waste. Number one, you can dig a hole and bury it. The National Park Service in America and the National Parks Authority in Britain, they recommend moving away at least 30 to 100 metres off the public path and digging a hole between about 15 and 20 centimetres deep, and they recommend carrying a trowel to be able to do that. That might be quite heavy if you're carrying that all day, so I wondered if you could use instead an aluminium tent peg, because it's quite light and it's quite sharp for digging a hole. The drawback of this is lots of parts of the Camino go through farmland, so farmers won't want you wandering into their fields for 30 or 100 metres. So I think for the Camino, burying your waste isn't all that practical. I think the best thing to do is just to use simple doggy bags that you might get from the supermarket. Just pull it out and take one off. These ones are 20 centimetres by 30 centimetres. I think I've got a bag already prepared, and I think I might have something like this in my rucksack for emergencies, and it's got lots of paper there all ready to go, and extra bags. Plus in here somewhere there's a little piece of soap in case you need to wash your hands afterwards. And my plan is to use one of these bags as a glove, so then you're guaranteed to have one hand clean all the time, and you need to hold it open, squat down, hold it open under your bum and use it. So that all seems quite straightforward. Let's see how it works in practice. So there it is. I've got here a clean spare plastic bag. Okay. And there it is, one double wrapped waste to be disposed of. And in Britain it's legal to put small amounts of human waste in the general rubbish, and in fact it passes the common sense test that obviously people in Spain live near the route would much rather you put it in a bag and threw it away in a proper rubbish bin rather than just left it on the path or the side of the road. So that's my plan, to always have a little bag like this with some paper and some spare bags and some soap, and thus have it in my rucksack somewhere easy to get to. Hopefully I'll never need it, and if I get to Santiago without having to use it, that would be great, but if not, then I'm all prepared. So if you have any ideas or comments, please let me know, but otherwise I think that's it, so thank you very much.